We are basically the connective tissue for all media brands agencies. We act as an internal intelligence and research arm, as well as an aggregated upfront strategy, go-to-market arm. We manage all of our partnerships as centrally working with all of our agencies under the IPG and Media Brands umbrella. I think we're starting to use the term addressable more widely, I think, as opposed to it pertaining specifically to our work with set-top boxes and the cable providers and satellite providers. It's really becoming more of a targeting methodology and an understanding that we're reaching a household based on a specific set of attributes, and we're just really widening the aperture of what addressable actually means to the industry. So I think that's a really big step forward.
Right, and do you think that's a plus to widen the aperture?
Yeah, I think it's a plus because I think it's a really effective targeting tactic. I think it's proven itself out in the cable provider and satellite provider space. And I think it's going to help eventually as we move into live linear through either Nielsen betas or Project Or. It'll really help the programmers with diminishing ratings and tightening inventory. And it will allow the buyers to remain with the programming giants that they've had partnerships with for so long, but open it up to really hit who they want to hit within those traditional environments.
Gotcha. Now, when you look at your clients, are they looking at the sort of, on-demand CTV universe as separate from the linear universe in terms of addressable, or are they kind of seeing it all as a holistic whole?
I think it's a combination of both. I think right now it's a little separate. You have your linear budget and you have your OTT budget. I don't think OTT budgets grow as linear budgets shrink. I think both budgets actually are growing.
Right.
I think people have more advertising dollars to spend. So I think it does sit both. I think on a smaller campaign basis is where they come together as opposed to a larger upfront or annual planning basis.
Right.
They definitely take each other into consideration, but really when you're buying through an advanced TV team or a third-party platform is where they actually come together. So a bit more on a campaign strategy.
Right. Now, are you still seeing sort of a bifurcation between the sort of the TV world and the digital world, or is that kind of slowly coming together?
It's definitely slowly coming together. I think especially at IPG, we don't have digital investment and TV investment anymore. We have video investment. And they really are looking holistically across all of our major video partners, be it a TV partner like NBC and ABC, who now are viewed as video partners because they all have wider offerings outside the TV screen, or digital first partners like Google Preferred, Condé Nast, as well as OTT. Right. So, they're definitely starting to look more holistically.
Okay, now, is measurement still a challenge, especially around addressable? Like, and how do you see that being solved, or how do you see that playing out?
I don't know how I see it playing out at the moment. I think it's definitely a challenge. I think people are still buying television on Nielsen demos. I think then they're buying some digital on P2+ and some digital on strategic targets. I think we have to come to a common currency as buyers, as well as have the sellers accept it and have a third party validate it. So I think everybody has work to do, but we definitely have to understand and start figuring out what is that common segment and currency that we're going to start transacting on. Right. Because we won't be able to holistically measure until we get to that point.
Where do you see the holdup on that coming? Is it from just that nobody's collaborating and cooperating? Is it just that it's also new? Like,
I think it's also new. I think clients have been buying one way for a really long time, and you have to give them credit for that. That in TV, they know how many GRPs against their Nielsen demo, and TV still is a great reach driver. Even as ratings decline, it's still a lot of people. Right. So we can't discredit TV for being an awareness play and a mass reach play. So I think it's that they've been doing it for so long, it's really hard to change something that has worked for so many years. So I think that's where the evolution has to happen. I think we need to always be aware of where the data is coming from. Is it opted in? Is the consumer aware that the data is not only being captured, but utilized in the way that we're using it? I think that's something that when I was client side happened. We all know what happened with Vizio about 5 or 6 years ago. So I think it's really becoming important for clients and agencies to just understand if I am using data for targeting or retargeting, that I really understand where the data is, how it's being captured, how it's being cleaned, and that the consumer has consented to the use of the data.